Aloha there. This is Darci Frankel coming to you live today with my dear friend Sarah Kruse. We're at Honolulu Day Spa here, and we're going to share with you about how to gracefully transition from the summer to the fall season.
Hey, Darci, I'm so happy to be here with everybody. And Darci and I used to work together. I'm actually here on the beautiful island of Kauai, visiting my dear friend and Ayurveda sister. Darci and I both studied with Dr. Ladd. And so whenever we come together, we talk all things Ayurveda and just have such a sweet kinship and friendship. And today happens to be the autumn equinox, the first day of fall. So we thought it was really timely to sit together and share a few tips with you all about transitioning, as Darci said, gracefully from summer into fall season.
Thank you. Yes, and big honoring to our teacher, Dr. Vasant Ladd, who's been a major exponent of Ayurveda in the West. And, Sarah helps people through individual and group consultations and programs, as do I, but we offer Ayurveda in our own unique, fun, and soulful way.
And we have learned in our own lives through so many years of implementing these practices in our daily life and through sharing with our clients that what we need changes as we go through the seasons and cycles of our lives, and also the seasons of the year. And Ayurveda teaches us so much about aligning our own rhythms with the rhythms of nature. So what's happening outside in the environment is also having an impact on what's happening in our bodies and in our minds and in our lives. So we thought to share with you about releasing some of the heat from summer. And do you want to share about the qualities of summer and pitta?
Oh, yeah, I get the pitta. So in Ayurvedic medicine, we look at guna or quality. It's really, really important to look at these qualities. There's actually 10 pairs of opposites that describe everything in the universe, external, internal. And what happens is, particularly in the summer, well, in any season, these qualities build up. So they build up in our body, they build up in our mind. And unless we eliminate them, we take them into the next season. So, let's pretend this is the heat of summer, right? Let's pretend this one's the dry of summer. And that just dropped right off. So the heat and the dry, and what other gunas are available in the summer? So we have hot, we have dry,
light,
oily
can be there for some people.
Oily, and in some locations. So if we don't adjust and cleanse from these, we go into the next season with these yellow sticky notes on us, which are representative, basically representing the heat of the summer. And that builds up in our tissues. And the dryness builds up in our body, in our mind, in our emotions. And unless we know how to do Rutu and Dinacharya, they will not simply easily fall off. I thought you'd like my fun explanation. And so when we know how to do Ayurveda, or when we work with a seasoned Ayurveda practitioner, they can help us easily take the gunas out of our bodies. So let's just talk about the guna of tikshna, or heat, for a moment.
Yeah, that sharp quality, when that accumulates in the body, that can look like irritability, sharpness of mind, not having as much patience, or just some internal pressure. Maybe some of the accumulated heat has built up over the summer and there's just a little bit of agitation. Maybe you don't know why. And that's just that guna, that tikshna, that sharp has built up, along with heat, along with sometimes oily, and sometimes our liver gets a little bit overwhelmed as well. So we would love to share some tips in a bit how to soothe that.
Yes, and this is really important. Each season, each year, and hopefully we grow in wisdom. Each year we can grow in health, and Ayurveda really shows us how. And us being exponents of Ayurveda, Today we'll give you some of our best tips, and what we've decided to do is keep them simple and easy so that you can implement them. As always, if you have some questions, you can type them in the comments. I can, if StreamYard allows us to see them, then we can answer them and address those, or I'll do that later. Love your questions, love your comments, and when you find value, please like, comment, and share, because that also helps us too.
Yes. So if you're noticing some accumulated heat or pitta in your body, it might look like what I mentioned, just excess heat, irritability, and so some simple tips to soothe that. There's so many, right?
There are, and we structured this talk to be in a way where we eliminate first the excess heat of the summer before we gracefully move into fall, because it's just like a relationship. You have to be finished with one relationship to move into another, and to be fully present and enjoy the benefits of that season. And so, although we're giving some generic tips today, you can have these further customized for your own self. So for instance, Sarah shared with us how, when in the summer, heat building up in the body affects us mentally, emotionally as well. Have you been frustrated, or some flavor of anger, frustration, agitation, irritation, just plain old angry, which, if you notice, it comes up and it goes out. And so that's something that's really important to be mindful when we get angry with ourselves or with somebody else, is to really not act that out and to breathe in the moment. And we have some great practices for you in a minute that will help to soothe some of that. You could also look up some of my old videos about how to keep cool in the summer if it's still hot there. I just want to take a look at our notes. Oh, so I want to talk about Sandhi before we. Before we give you the tips about clearing heat from the body, Sarah mentioned how right now, today, we're in the vernal equinox. It is the exact day. We also had a big old full moon the other day, which is the middle of a particular cycle. And so things might be very activated and alive in you. And what happens during the change of seasons, so there's one season, the summer, and then there are gunas or qualities associated with it: hot, dry, light. And then we move into fall, which has its own gunas of mobile, and it gets cooler. The wind is blowing. There's also a type of dryness as well, depending on where you live. And so there's these two seasons. So let's say this is summer and this is fall. Well, we're in the junction right now. And the juncture in between summer and fall, the juncture of anything, whether it's, my arm and my body, or my leg and hip, that is also a juncture, and they are vulnerable. We are vulnerable during these changes of seasons, and that's why we really stress the importance. I come on here a lot and talk, each year I talk about these seasonal routines that are really, really important, because we're vulnerable. Our physiology is a little more vulnerable at this time. But if you follow these simple seasonal routines, we can help to pacify, the heat of the summer and bring you into, or whichever season, and bring you into the next season in the best way. And that's why in Ayurveda we talk about receiving panchakarma at this time and doing other practices.
Absolutely. And so during these seasonal transitions, especially from summer to fall, one recommendation I give to a lot of my clients is to spend more time in nature, walking in the forest to cool the body and mind, and move the energy in the body, move it out and through the body. Also swimming in cool bodies of water, whether it's a lake, a river, ocean, to cool that excess heat from summer and to bring that internal peaceful quality. Also staying hydrated, moving toxins, and helping to eliminate things through the body is important. So staying hydrated, getting your electrolytes makes a big difference, and getting your rest. Those are a few ideas.
For general stabilization, because when we're vulnerable, you want to stabilize, right? And that helps us to, those are great suggestions.
Yeah, and this is something I think you and I probably tell all of our clients to stabilize, is this aspect of dinacharya, your daily routine, where we prioritize getting to bed at the same time, getting our rest. So this is important during this transition, but also going through the fall season, that we can emphasize our rest and relaxation. The body knows how to heal itself when we give it the rest that it needs.
You know, Sarah, that is such a great mantra right there. The body knows how to heal itself, because all too often, people, come to me with diseases, disorders, or imbalances, and they think, oh, this is something wrong. Mm-hmm. Something's bad. Something's wrong with me. And I constantly remind them to remind themselves that this is good. Knowing these symptoms, seeing these, your body knows it. Our bodies have great wisdom. So just no matter where this finds you today, and whatever station of life or health or disease or disorder, it's okay. Your body knows what to do. There's a real profound wisdom there.
Especially, in slowing down, just slowing down and starting to bring our attention inward, listening to our body's wisdom and honoring that. So I think maybe a few more little tips about transitioning.
Clearing the summer, and one of to take that just a little bit deeper. So summer, we're out there, we're playing, we're in a bathing suits, we're just having, well, we are here on Kauai, we're out there having fun, we're more externally focused. And the fall, we're starting to bring our attention more inward. So that is another aspect of the fall season, which is important to know. So should we talk about a couple of pitta pacifying or heat pacifying tips now that are good and generic for most people? And if you want more customized, more specific tips, then you can check out either, I'll put a banner up for Sarah. This is, a program that she has, which is a 3-month health coaching. And we both offer consultations. Let's see if we can put both of them together. Oh, that's cute. Mine's scrolling and hers is just right there. We'll put those up for a minute. So if y'all want some more specific suggestions for your own exact Prakriti and Vikruti, or body-mind type, or departure from that, then we're happy to help you with those. But a couple tips for clearing the summer heat that we came up with were, do you want to?
Sure. So teas, it's nice to bring in teas in this transition time. So we mentioned the liver. The liver can accumulate excess pitta over summer, and dandelion root, which is used both in Ayurveda and allopathic and Western and Chinese medicine across the board. Dandelion root with mint or dandelion root with licorice tea is really nice to support the liver and pitta. I also really like ginger peppermint. So ginger peppermint tea supports your digestive fire and also soothes both pitta and vata. Another remedy I give a lot of my clients is half a cup of pomegranate juice and half a cup of aloe vera gel mixed together once or twice per day between meals. And that can really stoke the digestive fire, but also cool the excess heat of summer in a very gentle way. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
And, Sarah is so great. She just comes up with these really beautiful recipes and for people that taste really great. Mine doesn't taste good. But it really clears heat from the body in a very expedient way. And this is, we have different qualities to our personality, and or different predominant gunas, and that's part of the reason why we work so well together. And so kutki, if you can find it, Kutki, it's a root, and you just boil it down and you drink the tea. You have a half a cup of that each day, just for about 5 days right now during this transition. And it is bitter. Bitter, as our teacher, Dr. Vasant Lad, says, is better for the liver. And so we could talk a lot about how different tastes help to create different things in the body. For instance, if we only eat the sweet taste, the gunas of sweet are heavy and cold and cloudy. We'll gain weight. And bitter helps to balance that. You don't want as much of the bitter taste, but bitter right now is really good. Which brings us to our good friend turmeric.
Yes, another amazing bitter.
Yeah, and have a little pinch of black pepper with that. You can just add some extra turmeric with your, with your food if you'd like, or take a little bit of it with water, a little pinch of it in a cup, and shake that up. We'll make warm tea out of it. That's nice too. And brush your teeth after, because your teeth and your tongue might get a little bit, of the stain of that.
Yes. So all these herbs that we've been mentioning are bitter. Aloe vera is bitter, kutki, and turmeric. And then just one more tip I wanted to add that I just was reminded of. One of my favorite ways to release heat from the body is simply to emphasize the exhalation when you're breathing. A lot of us unconsciously hold our breath. And do you know that this builds heat? It builds pressure in the body and in the mind. And if we can bring our awareness to just simply lengthening our exhale a little bit longer, it helps to carry that heat out of the body. So I just love this one.
I love this one too. With our teacher was very big on making great suggestions that help people immediately, whether it's a simple herb dietary change or a breathing exercise, which we don't even realize. Breathing exercises help so much. After just 3 minutes of doing sitting quietly, so you just literally sit quietly and focus on your exhale just a little bit longer. And we breathe in and out through the nose, unless, of course, we cannot. You will feel a difference. Try it. So those were great tips that people can try.
Definitely can start those today. Even if you pick one of those and implement it for a few days, we're sure you'll notice some benefits.
Yes, and we have one more which will help the sandhi or the transition, which is our favorite, Abhyanga, or Ayurveda warm oil massage, which can be quite elaborate, where you set the whole bathroom up with, candles and nice music, and heat up your oil and then apply it to your skin. Of course, you do not have clothes. You put towels down and you just pour this warmed oil on your body and just do a nice long strokes on the long bones and short circular strokes on the joints. I'm going to get these little things out of here for a second.
And as Darci's mentioning the Abhyanga, we just want to tell you that as we're shifting from summer season and Pitta into fall season, more Vata dosha, the primary gunas of Vata are dry, light, and mobile. And so we simply apply the opposite quality to soothe that dosha. So we may notice more dryness in our body, more busy thoughts in the mind, and activity. And so Abhyanga, the self-oiling, addresses all of those qualities. It's opposite of dry, it's oily, it's opposite of light, it's heavy, opposite of cold, it's warm and grounding. So it brings in all those opposite qualities to nourish and to settle the nervous system, and again, to support the body in healing during this time. So that's one practice that Darci and I have both recommended probably to almost every one of our clients over the years. We find that Abhyanga and pranayam, breath practice, those two practices give the quickest benefit in the shortest amount of time to Vata dosha and the nervous system. So if you're wanting quicker results, and as you may know, Ayurveda is not always a quick fix. It's more of a lifetime in progress of health and healing, but these are some practices that can give you benefits immediately.
Yeah, and we love that. We love immediacy.
Yes.
How often can how many times can you feel incredibly upset and agitated and just do a simple alternate nostril breathing, and then you feel better within 3 minutes?
Yeah, just instantly the mind settles. You have a great sense of calm and peace, yet absolute focus. So as Darci mentioned, alternate nostril, Nadi Shodhana, is one that anyone can do, actually. especially during this time, to just create balance in your body and in your life.
Yes. So I know we've given you a lot of fun options to, and I don't know what your self-care looks like. I'm always curious about people's self-care. And, as Ayurveda practitioners, we never judge. I think we just want you to know that. We don't judge. We've seen half of all of it, or if not all of it, or been through it our own selves. And so with all of these practices, you just pick something that resonates with you and you do it and stick with it and notice how you feel. And that's part of it, is to apply self-love and self-compassion, especially in these challenging times.
Yes, self-love, self-compassion, as you're saying, Darci, and just continuing to be gentle with ourselves along those same lines, because we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to add more good habits that we've learned and to do more and produce more results. And ultimately being gentle with ourselves is where the real healing and that self-care can be experienced.
It's true. And people are at different places of their self-care. Some people really need to have a big lifestyle and health turnaround. Some people are in their 40s or 50s or maybe 60s, and they're realizing that they want to create more longevity and they better change their habits, because we are the exact result of our practices. And that's why we talk about these practices a lot. So I hope some of this was helpful for you. I'm going to just check in and see if we covered everything we wanted to cover.
Yeah, I think we covered everything, and there's always more to talk about. So we would love to hear or see your questions in the comment section below. And also your comments, maybe some practices that you like to start implementing as you go into fall season. Because when we share, we all can learn from each other. So thank you for your presence and your attention today.
And thank you.
Thank you, Darci.
All right. And so we'll just wrap that up. Thank you so much for your time, your presence, and the self-care that you do, because when you take care of, as I take care of myself, you take care of yourself, you help others to be healthier and happier. And that's what we need right now.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Aloha.
Aloha.